You're listening to the Wicked Theory Podcast.
We're very happy to have you back, even for a short visit.
And here we go.
Broadcasting to you live from the grand opening of Tommy's Shinebox showroom. Go get yours today. This is the Wicked Theory Podcast. Boys and girls, we're back. It's another Saturday. It's another show. I'm Bill Sweeney. I brought some friends. I got my brother Bob.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Guess I'm going in this direction. That threw me off.
I'm doing Bass Aquas this week.
That's it. So I'm doing Ed.
If it wasn't for pizza and other fine Italian foods, there would be no happiness.
I think that's actually true. And then we got Uncle Jay.
Go scratch.
Fair enough.
Go get your fucking shine box.
Go get your shine box. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it. Should I just fucking get to it now?
Get me.
Easy, Ed. Stay out of character.
Sorry.
I like it better that way. All right. So, yeah, we're here. You're here. Thanks for coming. All right. Yeah. Before we get all crazy. Oh, did we do that already? Before we get all crazy and get all into it, you know what we do. We talk nerd stuff.
Yes, I fucked them. Fucking break up my body.
What is that?
You want to get nuts? That's Frank Vincent.
Stop barking into the fucking microphone.
Right.
I don't care. I don't care if you're doing a character. All right. You got to stay in for that. All right.
Oh, you're really angry.
Let's get nuts.
He did it twice. All right. Second time you get the warning. First time you get a look. Second time you get a warning. Third time there's no warning.
Mess with the ball, young man. You get the horns.
Right up the ass.
Right up the ass.
Right
yes,
up the
I
ass.
fucked them.
Yeah, that's what you were saying, right? What was that from? For those who don't know.
Fellas.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so this is episode 123. Thanks for coming. In this episode, we're going to get to news. We got an email or two, I think, in the box. We got some developments that we're going to get to.
Yes.
First things first, though, if you ever want to send us an email, send it to podcast, because this is a podcast, at Wicked Theory, because that's the name of the show, .com.
WickedTheory.com.
There you go. Cash! Woo! So a couple of people here have been out and about
Yes.
in the podosphere. Ed this week popped up on our liner notes.
Yeah, like 2 months ago I recorded this.
I thought maybe he threw it out.
I got to re-listen to remember what I said.
Your episode was shelved.
I got into like the first 10 or 15 minutes maybe. Okay. You guys still hadn't gotten to the music yet. But that's the setup on that show, because I did it too, and that's how that goes. There's a little bit of kibitzing, I think, in the beginning.
Yeah, but I'll say it right now. I talked about Richard Cheese's Royal Baby album.
That's right, which you'll hear plenty of.
Yeah. I think about Richard Cheese, and then Palmer and Chris talked about U2 and Alice Cooper.
What a mix.
Yeah.
What a mix.
Yeah, I felt very weird.
I bet you did.
Welcome to my nightmare.
Because that was Ed's nightmare, because you guys talk about the whole...
You didn't know nothing about Alice Cooper?
Not being a big music guy in the beginning. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But
but it's fun.
I didn't get to the part where they introduced their stuff, so I can only imagine like your on-mic reaction to those. Like, yeah, I guess those are things. It's probably sums it up. That's kind of like how your reaction probably was.
I was actually surprised that I didn't realize that Alice Cooper that it wasn't his real name.
Oh yeah, because why would you change it to that, right?
Yeah,
doesn't sound like a stage name really. All right, cool, very cool. People can check that out. Our liner notes, the newest episode, episode 66 for those listening in the future. Check out our brother Ed.
Route 66.
Actually,
it's a fun show.
Welcome to My Nightmare is a great CD. It's a great album. Check it out.
He's recommending it to you.
Recommending you as listen.
The homework. Now you have homework, Ed.
Yeah.
And then Jay made an appearance too this week.
Yes, I did.
Over on Gotham Lights.
Gotham Lights.
Cash,
Sammy,
and Hello.
Yeah, they're great people over there. I had a good time doing it too. A lot of fun, a lot of laughs. And I have still not.
I feel left out here because You're not into Gotham. You're on Gotham Lights. You're not into music. You're on a podcast about music. I've been doing this show 2 years. I haven't been invited on anybody else's podcast.
Well, we're going to
yet.
put you on a rap podcast.
Right. If it's about things you're not into, that's the thing. Like, you know?
No, actually.
Oh, I guess I already got that covered because I'm on this show.
Oh!
Yeah. Well, okay.
Fucking inappropriate.
But no,
Yeah.
let me explain. We spoke a lot about Batman. We spoke a lot about superhero movies.
Sure.
But really, they were talking about movies.
Yeah.
And Henna was picking my brain on that. But they actually make me want to watch Gotham. You know what I
Right.
mean? So I think I'm gonna binge watch it this fall. I think.
Yeah, I think the thing I was telling you earlier is like, if you can just kind of get past whatever like initial kind of reaction to the whole concept,
Right.
and just realize it's a fucking romp, basically, then yeah, I think that's the thing.
But
It's sacrilegious to the source material, but like
No, I get it,
But it's a
yeah.
romp, and if you can just let that go, it's a
Right.
big thing for some people to let go. But
well, the
that's
Burton Schumacher verse is sacrilegious to the original material too, but
you ain't
some are just better than others.
Yeah, what's funny is it weaves in and out between like gritty like 70s crime drama
Yeah.
and the Schumacher Batman movies.
Yeah.
I've gotten down to it that it's a prequel to the first Tim Burton movie.
Right.
That's the best I can kind of gather.
Right.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it. I told them I would watch it, and we spoke about Batman movies. We talked about Superman a little bit, and so it wasn't too far off from their
Did-
original material.
Now I haven't listened to it yet either, but did you let them talk?
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Well, Henno, anyway. Steph, not so much.
Well, Steph wasn't really feeling too good. She was.
Well, it's a funny thing because as you're listening, because I listened to the whole thing, right? So as you're listening, you kind of notice that Steph's just got like a lot of, yeah. She does a good, like,
Well, she's
not.
shaking her head in disgust, probably.
She does a great unintentionally sassy, Like, it's just like, that's, it just comes off that way a little bit. But, yeah, in the end, it turns out, like, when they pointed out, like, oh, my God, like, Steph, we really didn't let you get, like, a lot of, and she's like, no, I've been sick, so I was kind of, like, thankful that you didn't let me get anything in.
But I do have two people on my side about Man of Steel.
Oh,
So there was a
shit.
lot of good Man of Steel banter
Yes,
on there.
yes.
And positive, too, all three.
Yeah, no, yeah. It was good. The fact that came up, I was like, because for a moment, the episode starts to turn to like Wicked Theory highlights of the last like 30 episods of some stuff
Yeah,
that's going
kind of
on
a
here.
little bit.
So you can look forward to that, which was great because it's like, oh, Henno really does listen.
And quick shout out because Henno has to take some time off from that show to
Yeah.
run for city council.
Right.
So I've been tapped to guest host the premiere of Gotham.
Nice.
you go.
Which
Nice.
is gonna I think I know the episode happens next week,
Right.
but I think the episode's gonna come out the week after.
Right.
I just want to know if Henno is running for city council, if he's going to be doing his own music.
He should.
Should
He said he's gonna be knocking on doors. Now I want to see him doing the one-man band thing where he's got the cymbals between his knees and the drum on his back.
I was just thinking, self-editing his own music for his like commercials and things like that.
Oh, I'm sure he's gonna.
Maybe go stomping with the guitar,
Yeah,
Or-
it's gonna be a lot of that.
Well, I told Henno that I would help him out, in case he ever needed some muscle.
Which is a great moment. Like knock on doors. Go vote for my friend.
Guys, I'm moving to Idaho for 6 months.
I'll be back as soon as the feds get hot to it.
But I spoke very highly of Ed, and I told them they should tap Ed, for as long as
As much
Henno
as
was
they can
out,
get him.
as
Yeah.
much as they can get him, because you should be on that show,
Yeah.
filling in, and because you know a lot about it.
And just for as we roll past this, and just for clarity's sake, Bob has been invited on our liner notes.
Yeah.
We just had some scheduling issues, and that's how that goes. So look forward to hearing him on there as well.
Eventually.
and Dominic as well.
Yeah, I kid.
No, but it's funny
me
because
too,
it was
actually.
done, like Ed said, 2 months ago, and on the
Yeah.
episode, Palmer's even like, Wicked Theory month, which was the idea, which did not pan out scheduling wise for a lot of things. But yeah,
Yeah, I
so
was
just-
tapped for that too, but it's down.
Yeah,
to,
yeah. It's not going to be like all at once.
My schedule's filled.
We got things to do
Yeah,
around
exactly.
here. Speaking of
pencil it
which, something else I got to do. The other podcast that we do, Preacher versus Preacher, just wrapped because the show wrapped, and that's what we do.
Okay.
But we have some crossover listeners.
Just thinking that.
It's been put to rest. The Preacher series for season 2.
Wait, it's coming back.
No, yeah, it's good. Well, we don't know yet for sure.
It'll be
but it's-
zombified.
Yeah, but it's quite possible it'll be back.
You can't leave on a cliffhanger like that.
Well, the shows have left on bigger cliffhangers than that.
Yeah, I know, but not this one.
But not this one. This one means something.
Say it ain't so, Joe.
Certain movies have been left with a cliffhanger.
It's pretty much so. But we'll see how it goes as far as that goes. But this week, what we got to do here is announce the winner of the big contest we did over there.
Ooh.
So I'm sure some of you are like, how come we don't do the contest over here? Announcement coming soon for that. But the running gist of that contest was to promote the show, was to promote PvP.
Right.
And go out of your way, do it any way you can, whatever you want to do. And we kind of ran off some examples. And then a few people, not many, but a couple people got involved. And if you go and check out the hashtag Absolute PvP, you can kind of see all the stuff that they were doing. But you will notice that one person really kind of went above and beyond.
Somebody kind of cashed in some vacation days and just kept working.
It seems like it. And they hit all the kind of suggestions that we had made. Hey, you could just flood with tweets, or you could make a YouTube video, or you could make GIFs, or you could just tweet whatever and tag us on it and just, help try
Find
and push
some
it,
other
try-
way to kiss our ass in public.
Right. So he did all of that. And he did all of those.
Thank you so much, Bill. I appreciate this honor.
No, well, you didn't do anything, Ed, so I don't know why you would try and take a claim for it.
You were busy working on something else.
Yeah, you have the next announcement that we're going to get to. But, snarf. Fucking, I don't know what that's about. And it's the guy who won last year. So, congratulations to Chad NV, Chad Rose, who just kind of killed it as nobody else could have killed it. Anybody coming in late couldn't have caught up anyway. Just daily tweets, really trying his hardest to push out the show, episode links and all that kind of stuff. Made a little YouTube video. The highlight of the whole thing is a YouTube video he made, and he put out two versions, censored and uncensored, of the scene where Cassidy is talking to Dennis, and because Dennis speaks French, this is for people who haven't seen it, Dennis speaks French, Cassidy and Dennis have both been wearing these digital kind of translators around their neck on lanyards that kind of like will take anything you say and say it in French. Now, because Chad speaks French, he redubbed this entire exchange, where now Dennis kind of walks in and says to Cassidy, like, hey, do you want to go listen to Preacher vs. Preacher with me? And this is it's a really short clip, you know what I mean? Cassidy's like, no, this kind of a thing. But because he speaks French, he did the translators going back and forth underneath as well. So it's not just like, an overdub of the main two guys. Like, he went a little above and beyond, like inside of that. So for that alone, like, it's pretty remarkable. And Chad, congratulations. Way to go. Do what you want. Let me know.
Well, thank you, Bill.
That's good. That's a good Chad NV impression. Very polite. He's Canadian.
He's very polite.
And let me know which book you want. Obviously, book 2, since you won book 1 last year. But
I smell a fix.
you smell a fix. You smell some kind of repeat.
I'm from Newark. I automatically think everything's a fix.
Well, I can understand that. And then we did do a runner-up position, which is a season 2 poster of the series, a promotional poster that was actually given to me by a local comic shop. It's not much, but it's something. So
Nice swag.
yeah, it's not bad swag. It's a tough call because to find second place, you kind of got to look at what a couple people did, because a couple of people got involved, but they didn't do like the flood of tweets that Chad Rose. Like if you go through the hashtag, it's just Chad Rose, like eating it up 90% of the time. But
Congrats.
So it's a tough call between a couple of people, and it's about Kasia J and this guy 2D Specs. Now 2D Specs, which was really cool in the last episode, like offhandedly, I was like, just fucking, I don't care, make pictures, like fucking draw whatever you want to. And that's like literally what he put into the tweet. And then he had a couple of pieces of artwork he did, or maybe he had already done, and he kind of put those in. So which is really stuff I wanted to just kind of commend him on that. But we got to give it to Kasia J, who kind of came out at the very end there and just kind of has a bunch of tweets, just really kind of supporting the show and promoting it and trying to get us a little bit of attention. And came up with a couple of little graphics of her own too, and tried to go a couple of different directions with those tweets. So it wasn't about just the same old tweet over and over. And so just really want to give it to both of them a big thank you. Chad actually just arrived in the chat room.
Congrats, people.
Congrats to Chad. Kasia, you're probably not listening, but I'll be contacting you and getting your info. And
Kasia J, huh?
should anything happen and people not want their prizes, I'll try and figure out somebody else to give them to. So thanks a lot, and then thanks for supporting us.
Thank you,
guys.
We will be doing some kind of giveaway here soon. We're just going to work out some more details.
Ooh.
So look forward to that.
Kasia J.
Now,
It's like Uncle Jay's cousin.
now right now we have some sad news. That's the wrong music. That's the wrong music. Yeah, sad music.
Bill, I can't speak.
It's
I'm
the end.
speechless
It's
right
the
now.
end of an era, folks. As of today,
As of this week.
yeah, as of this week, more like it. DC TV is leaving.
Yay? No.
Shit.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that.
At the end of this regular episode,
It's-
you will
yeah.
hear my final weekly DC TV report.
Right.
But there is some good news in all this, isn't there?
Bob
So-
sure knows
so
how
am I-
to step on a joke, doesn't he?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I cut things short?
You cut it in way too
Don't
soon.
let the door hit you.
All right.
But yeah. So I'll just it's over. It's done. It's dead. Oh shit. But it's coming back, folks. It's coming back.
We're bigger, we're badder than ever.
Oh my God.
Hence why we weren't that sad.
Bigger, stronger, faster.
Oh, meaner? No, not
No,
meaner.
actually.
No, actually, probably.
Actually, yeah. No, I get kind of mellowed out.
Did you?
Yeah.
All right. So here's the thing. We're breaking out DC TV into its own podcast. It's coming very soon for you folks. And the big question was, who could possibly host this kind of a thing with Ed O'Hare? And it's not about anything other than who the hell is going to watch all of these freaking shows, because the plan is to cover every DC TV show.
Every live action television show based on DC Comics.
Thank you, sir, for the correction. And at this point, that's 11, if you count what's coming
Yes.
down the pike and, the whole lineup. So,
Season 2 of Powerless?
see, womp womp.
I will break this fucking table over your neck.
Don't you dare. So, the only person that could fit that said yes, and it's Sarah Netzley. If you don't know Sarah Netzley, you probably should from hearing us mention her, but she was a rotating kind of co-host over on Preacher vs. Preacher for us this season.
And she's also guested on the Wicked Theory podcast.
She has guested. It's just been a little while, but she's an amazing asset to the team. I
Yes.
couldn't be more happy than to have her under the umbrella, if you will.
Well spoken, well
Spoken.
spoken.
I like it. Good.
Yeah, freelance.
Well, I was like trying to figure out another way to say very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
She's academic by day, freelance writer by night.
And that's it. She's a freelance writer
She
over
got credits.
over entertainment. AEW.com.
EW.com.
She's a freelance writer over there, and she knows her stuff.
And she's on a DVD box too.
She actually, that's right. This on the newest release for Arrow, the box set. That's her blurb, man. I forget what the blurb was, but it was good.
Yeah.
But so we couldn't be more excited about this. People listening right now in the chat room or wherever, episodes are not up yet, but we do have a Twitter account that's at DCTV Report.
Yeah.
And also the email is open. If people want to send something in early to kind of say, hey, wish you the best and all that. Now, you two have actually recorded your opening episode.
Yeah.
Which is a little preview kind of discussion about a couple of things.
Yeah, we recap Preacher and we cover some news
Right.
from the last week, but that's not actually going to drop until Sunday, September 24th.
Right.
We will drop that pilot episode, and we will cover the premiere of Gotham.
Nice. So can't wait to really kind of be allowed to hear more of the episode that I got to hear.
Yeah,
Because you constantly pulled my headphones out as you were editing it.
well, no, because I just I was actually wanted you to hear the stuff I was editing.
Right. You just wanted to hear the edits, and then you were
Yeah.
like,
Here's
but
a
you had to
transition.
leave- But you was so smiling when you yanked out my cord, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I gotta wait.
No, I put in a transition. I just want to know if you liked it. By the way, you haven't heard some of those, the later ones. You're like,
Okay. I don't even know what that means,
I'll
but
play it
I'm
for you
nervous.
later.
I'm nervous already. All right, so
So basically,
really,
planning to get more than what you just had.
right.
Again, you're still not going to hear the whole thing. You're just going to hear those little snippets he wants to hear.
Right, he just cut those out. It's a minute and a half of transitions. So again, congratulations, Ed, and this is a very cool thing for us. It's going to have its own legs, its own life, its own YouTube, its own podcast feed. It's going to be its own animal. So if anybody wants to check out Sarah at Sarah Netzley, SARANETZLEY. Maybe Palmer can put in a little spelling on that into the chat room. But yeah,
Congratulations, Cousine.
Very,
Thank you.
Very cool. It's been a long time coming. You worked hard on it.
Yes, you did.
You know, developed this whole idea
yeah,
from the ground up.
color coding spreadsheets, man.
I finally got what I
Does
wanted.
this mean you'll be taking a break from 30 for 30?
We haven't even talked about that yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's a whole different conversation for a different day. But yeah, I'm just happy to be rid of you now. I finally got what I wanted, which was initially how this all goes is that like you were doing it on the show as its own bit, and then I was like, let's make it a segment, a pre-recorded segment.
Yeah.
And I was like, let's get it out of here. Put it as a podcast. Get the fuck off my boat. Like, no, but by no means. So I expect a few of our listeners, our regular listeners, to actually kind of maybe happy and excited about this because they pushed for it as the segment began back in its infancy. So I look forward to you at least hearing from Thomas K. often.
Yes.
Yeah, just a quick thought. You might want to actually come up with a card or flyers and give them to Jay for all the horror cons he goes to.
Yes, because
Yeah.
you know
Definitely.
it's all genre, and
Yeah.
everybody, you know.
Yeah, people there will jump right on that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So,
And I'll listen. You know, I won't know what's going on, but I'll definitely listen. Show you some fucking support.
very cool. Very cool.
And
So,
Sarah's very cool too. I mean, I've listened to the PvP shows
Yeah,
a couple
yeah.
times. Very, very, very good guest. you
yeah,
have,
yeah.
you
We
know
don't
what I mean?
deserve her, really. You know?
Yeah, we do.
That's why we put her over on a show with Ed, so it's safe for her. She'd walk away with bruises.
She
hanging out with
deserves
us.
that. She doesn't deserve
Well, put it how you want.
urban
but
reality.
Metro reality. We got here.
Something a little more professional, a little
Yeah.
more Republican.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've even said on the Gotham Lights that, you know, I feel bad for Ed because she's sitting with like the 3 fucking street punks from God knows where.
And the king of porn, right? That's Hanno.
And the king of porn.
Hi, Hanno.
Hi, Hannah. We have no idea if that's true or not.
Yeah, no, it's true. We don't.
That's true. Wow, that was close. No, it's true.
Well, the
We
phrase
don't.
Coney Island whitefish did come up on the show.
Only because of you. Because it came out of your mouth again.
But I know that Henno would appreciate
Oh,
it.
no, he left. He definitely left. All right, so a big thanks to Sarah Netzley. Please go follow her if you're following us.
Yes,
And if you
we
follow,
love Sarah.
And if you're going to follow DC TV Report, there you go.
And we're proud of Ed.
So we appreciate all you guys taking your time out to go check that out when it drops.
Yes.
We will let you know. We will probably have Sarah on again soon to help promote that too.
So, Bill, I guess this means now you don't have to worry about waking up at noon on Sunday.
No. Nobody knows what that means. That's all behind
No
the
one
scenes.
knows what you're talking about.
No one knows.
No one knows.
Again,
We
I'm
said
just
that-
kind of like, he's like, fuck it. If I get it, that's all that matters.
Yeah, yeah. And we're still probably going to be doing that.
Yeah, but it's just been delayed.
Yeah.
The other, just so people know, the Phantom project that we were working on, that we never really kind of announced anyway, was not the DCTV report, which people thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
So yes, it did become that, but the other thing's been pushed off. We're gonna release that and all that stuff when the time's right.
Okay.
But it's it's evergreen, so it doesn't have to come out right away. This idea was a thing where it was like, I think we just have to. I think it's just like, you got a lot of shows coming up, and let's push it out to its own thing. And then it was like, oh yeah, well if we do that, we should do that like now. So that's why it's coming out next week, and you're hearing about it now, folks. So Yeah, that is true. The other project we did talk about on Patreon, secret conversation we had on Patreon. People can support us on Patreon and hear all that.
Did
kind
that
of
person
secret
who
stuff.
mentioned this actually pay for the Patreon?
Yes, otherwise they wouldn't have known.
No, because otherwise, if they knew and they didn't pay for it, then we have a problem.
Oh, then we have a definite problem. Then we would have a definite problem. All right, so with that, let's get into news.
Who's in the chat?
We gotta do chat game too. So that's good. That's
do
good.
chat game.
Yeah, let's do chat game. Who's in the chat is the first question that we always ask. See who's in there, who's hanging around.
So we got Wesley, we got Uncle Jay, we got Zombie John, we got Chad, the Kilted Ginger.
The kilted one has arrived.
The Kilted Ginger.
Is he wearing underwear?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
The kilted ginger.
Yes.
And we only know that he's ginger because sometimes the kilt flies up.
Yeah.
You know, you get a little look.
Yeah, and we got an Elsewhere.
LC, it's good to hear you, LC.
Brendan Gleeson from Braveheart is in the chat.
We'll take anybody.
Yeah.
I'm your Uncle Argyle. Like the socks. So with that, kids, hey, thanks for coming and listening to us and hanging out. And here's a little thing for you to stay busy. We call it the chat game. And basically, it's just a little thing. It's a little thing. It's a little like
Little
hashtag,
thing.
like a hashtag game you might have seen on the Twitters. This week, the motivation, the objective, it's a movie Parmigiana. So basically, you take any movie and you make it a little extra Italiano.
In movie Parm.
You know, examples include Attack of the Killer Tomato Sauce,
Hey, yo.
Leaving Lasagna,
Hey.
Forget about it.
Twin Pieces, Fra Diablo with me. It's so bad that we laugh at it. Anyway, so that's that, kids. Hang out with us and play with us, or play with yourselves, or play with each other.
Get a lot of beats.
And then we'll run down a list of those in just a little while. And then Paul was actually putting all that info into the chat room.
Jason.
So you guys can see it. And now,
Jason Star Trek.
Now is the time. Yeah, we got to take that tape off that thing. Now is the time for news. News o'clock.
Satan.
Get behind me, Satan. All right. A little bit of a down note, sad note. We had a couple of losses this week.
Oh,
of,
yeah, this chokes me up.
of a couple of actors that been around for a while and definitely.
Or Bela Lugosi died.
Yeah, no, at some point he did.
Long time ago.
At some point he definitely did. But we lost Harry Dean Stanton and Frank Vincent this week.
Yeah, man.
Harry Dean Stanton, as all of you know, was only known for playing the random security guard in, what was that, The Avengers?
Yes, yeah, he was in that. Yeah,
In Avengers
That's
2.
right. Every other movie he's in.
No, yeah, and then every other thing plus the return of Twin Peaks.
Well, he was in a few David Lynch flicks.
Yeah, they go back, right?
They go back a little bit because he was in Wild at Heart. He was the private detective looking for Nicolas Cage's character.
Okay.
Everyone knows him from Alien, of course. He's Brett in
Sure.
Alien.
Yeah.
Every other movie, I mean, you know this guy. If you don't know who he is, you've definitely seen him. He's in Escape from New York. He's the cop in Christine. Huge loss to Hollywood films.
Now,
Films in general.
am I picturing the right guy?
Okay.
And saying that he was in one of your favorite TV shows?
Quantum Leap.
Yeah.
I had a feeling you'd mix him up with Stockwell.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah.
Dean Stockwell.
Okay.
So actually, now this guy didn't he play like the dad of Molly Ringwald on something?
Yeah, Pretty in Pink.
Okay. I don't know if you can picture that guy.
In Alien, he's the engineer with Yaphet Kotto.
Okay. All right.
He's the guy that's looking for Jonesy. He says
I know
Jonesy.
I know the name, and I know
Yeah.
as soon as I see the face, I'm gonna be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's one of those things too. Once we like IMDb's were open or the internet, if we had any kind of web connections.
I mean, as long as I've been watching movies, as long as I've been, I mean, this guy's been there. You know what I mean? And you know, he's hit it out of the park as a character actor.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah, and for the longest time, he was one of those guys you just knew his face. You know what I mean?
And even his persona is just a guy who has a pack of cigarettes. You know what I mean?
Might be a little tired.
Tired. Just walks in and he just does it effortlessly. You know?
Yeah. Sleeves rolled up on his button-down shirt. I kind of feel like a little bit. You know?
Yeah, and he just does what he does and he leaves, man. I wish, I could be that kind of an
Now,
actor.
just answer this flatly, because I haven't watched the Twin Peaks finale in any way. Does this kind of pose a story problem in any particular way?
No.
Not really, right?
No.
Okay, cool.
Not at all.
For his character, okay. Especially with Lynch, he would just be like, time warp opened up, and we haven't seen him since. Like, you know what I mean?
Twin Peaks has easy fixes.
Yeah, especially the longer that show runs, it's like, this is getting weirder and weirder.
But, the Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, his bit in that movie, it's hilarious.
Right. Harry Dean Stanton. All right.
And Frank Vincent. Get your shine box, my friend. Anybody's ever loved Goodfellas?
Let's get right into it with him, because I have it all queued up. This is when Joe Pesci walks into the restaurant.
That's a good scene.
Jimmy. Oh, Henry, it's his joint. This is Lisa. Hey, Frankie, how are you?
Hey, Tommy, all dressed up, all grown up and doing the town. Look at this.
Oh, shit.
Tommy.
I forgot you was having a party with his mom.
Come here.
Ooh.
Let me go say hello. Hey, Billy, how are you?
Tommy, get over here. I haven't seen you in 6 fucking years.
How you doing, Billy?
Jesus Christ almighty. You look terrific. How you feel?
Watch this suit.
Watch this suit, you little prick. Hey, I know you all my life.
All right, good.
You're getting too big on me
Just
now.
don't go busting my balls, Billy, okay?
Hey, Tommy, if I was going to break your balls, I'd tell you to go home and get your shine box. Oh, this kid was great. They used to call him Spit Shine Tommy. I swear to God. Oh, he'd make your shoes look like fucking mirrors. Excuse my language. He was terrific. He was the best. And he made a lot of money, too. Salud, Tommy.
No more shines, Billy.
What?
I said no more shines. Maybe you didn't hear about it. You've been away a long time. They didn't go up there and tell you. I don't shine shoes anymore.
Relax, will you, for crying out? What's got into you? I'm breaking your balls a little bit, that's all. I'm only kidding with you.
Sometimes you don't sound like you're kidding. There's a lot of people around.
I mean, I'm only kidding with you. We're having a party. I mean, I just came home. I haven't seen you in a long time, and I'm breaking your balls, and you're right away you're getting fucking fresh. I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend you.
I'm sorry, too. It's okay. No problem.
Okay, salute. Now go home and get your fucking shine box.
Motherfucking you fucking piece of shit.
Yeah. Come on. Let him go.
Henry, bought his fucking button, that fake old tough guy. You brought your fucking button, you fake tough guy. You motherfucker.
Come on.
Fuck, keep that motherfucker here. Keep him here. Come on.
Back. Come on, you
No,
fucking
fake
feel
tough guy.
strong?
I'm sorry. Tommy gets a little loaded. He doesn't mean any disrespect.
You don't mean any disrespect, Henry. Are you nuts? Teach this kid a little fucking manners. Hey, Jimmy, what's right is right. You understand what I'm talking about?
It's all right.
No, I mean, the kid's over here, we're hugging and kissing over here, and 2 minutes later, he's acting like a fucking jerk.
No. You insulted him a little bit. You got a little out of order yourself.
No, I didn't insult him.
Insulted him a little bit.
No, I didn't insult nobody. Give us a drink.
Okay? Come on, let's have some drinks, all right? Drinks on the house. Come on, let me...
Yeah, have the drink with me.
No.
Back him up.
Billy. No. Drinks around the house.
The house. Trust me, Billy.
Effortlessly. And he's from Jersey.
There's another 2 minutes to that, obviously, but we know where the rest of that goes.
Pesci and Frank Vincent actually started out as a comedy team.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
That I didn't know.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
In the 60s.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And he lived in Newark for a little while.
That would be some interesting stuff to dig up.
But if anybody's seen Raging Bull, Goodfellas, Casino, he's memorable in all those films.
Yeah.
And, of course, Sopranos, too.
Yeah.
He was the rival crime boss.
So there was a quick clip that was suggested, too, where I was looking for him for this particular clip, but it was the Casino. So I was like, all right, let's check what that was. And no, it's just 10 minutes of baseball bats on meat, for audio. That's all the audio worth. There's a lot of...
Well, on the street, that's known in Casino as Bats' Revenge.
right. Sure.
Because this is
in
his
the
revenge.
other movie, right, he got killed, right. In this one,
he gets his revenge on Pesci in that
That's
film. Not
funny.
to spoil anything.
No, yeah.
Godspeed, man. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for the great work, man. He was effortlessly.
Yeah.
Well, you'll see him every time you watch that movie.
Oh,
Even little stuff like in Do the Right Thing, he's when the kids are turn the fire hydrant into the sprinkler, and he's the one driving through, making all the ruckus.
Oh, he is. That's right. So young back
You
then.
stupid kids.
Get out of the street. All right, so moving straight into the real news here, or the rest of the news, I should say. J.J. Abrams has been lined up now to take over Star Wars 9.
It's gonna be fun.
Good. Everything's fine. Everything's
It's
good.
gonna be fine.
It's gonna be.
You know why? Because they didn't start shooting.
Oh, no.
But now
Bullshit.
now it's going to feel like you've seen the movie before, though.
We identified.
No, I don't think so.
That's what everybody says too. A lot of people are like, "Oh, now it's gonna feel like fucking Jedi because that's all Abrams does." It's like, no.
Complain,
It's like, and
fucking
first of all, that's
complain.
like a knee-jerk reaction complaint, and second of all, like, you can only say that about. That wouldn't have mattered who directed the other Star Wars movie that JJ did. It would have felt like that anyway.
No.
Because that shit was in the script. That was the plan.
Well, no.
It was to echo things we knew.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If they hadn't done that, then you would have been crucified. Like
Right.
then you would have been like high
Oh yeah,
hell.
you can't win anyway.
We
Fuck
haven't
it.
heard shit from that Han Solo set. Everything's fine as far you know what I mean because they got
Yeah,
it
no, yeah,
professional.
yeah. No.
Here, I'm very happy that Colin Trevorrow took a step away.
He didn't feel.
I
like
was
the
never
right guy?
sold. I was
Okay.
never sold. I was
Right.
the one that kind of felt uneven about it.
Yeah.
But I feel that JJ, I feel like the structure for the trilogy is already on paper somewhere. You know what I mean? And I feel like, first of all, we're going to go into a new movie
Right.
with Johnson, and I'm sure it's not going to mirror Jedi whatsoever.
Yeah.
So this is good news. So this, I'd like Ed to take the next one.
Oh, would you?
Yeah, because it deals
That's,
with Man of Steel too.
Oh yeah. Well, this is a non-story. Matthew Vaughn is in talk. Reportedly, and he's confirmed that he's in talks to direct Man of Steel 2.
I've had conversations.
Yeah, and with Matthew Vaughn, if you talked about all the movies he signed on for that he didn't do,
Right.
there's- You know,
This is not really news just yet.
This guy talks about doing 6 movies a year. You know, so but you know the idea that they're still in talks to do that. You know, I think I would like to see another solo Superman movie.
Well, what's interesting is that in general, like this is a movie we haven't heard anything happening about. We haven't had any buzz about it or any news leaking out in a while. So
Yeah, since
it's
about
bringing it back to the conversation.
Yeah, this is the most we've heard since about a year ago when they were saying George Miller was in talks to do it.
Right. So there's that. More interestingly, I think, is some news about the Halloween reboot that Danny McBride is working on. They got Jamie Lee Curtis to come back,
Yes.
which for a couple people poses the question because I think people are under the assumption that Danny McBride has said that this is a direct follow-up to Part 2,
Right.
ignoring anything else. But
she's dead, Jim.
does she die at the end of 2?
No, she dies at the end of Halloween Resurrection.
Right, which doesn't matter anymore.
The beginning of Halloween Resurrection.
Right,
Yeah,
they're
that's
saying
right.
like they're ignoring anything else after you know.
Right.
After
Well,
2.
which is a good thing because everything after 2 basically sucked.
Yeah, everything it just all falls apart from there.
Well, I like 3.
The one with the masks was.
I like that.
I like that, but it's just it's such a standalone
Yeah,
thing,
but-
though.
Right.
It can't even be included in the conversation about it. Really.
That's on Halloween.
That's like Friday the 13th Part 6.
Yeah, but it's just like
it's
it's
like-
almost its own. It's just its own
Yeah.
thing.
What intrigues me though is the fact that they already confirmed David Gordon Green to direct too.
Okay.
So if anybody's ever seen,
Yeah, and this is getting the full blessing from Carpenter. He might even end up doing music
he's
on it.
producing.
Yeah, he's producing on it,
Yeah.
and he might even end up doing the music on it.
But you weren't up for Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers?
Well, I saw it. I loved it as a kid, but I knew it was like hot mess of an add-on. Like I didn't take it. Like from there, it started to turn into like the other franchises, where it's like just finding ways to keep it going and making it more almost kind of like over the toppy.
What about Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers?
Well, that was good too, but it was all about revenge.
4 and 5 are not bad slasher films.
Yeah. They're serviceable to the genre and all that kind of thing. They start trying to make sense of it all though,
We
and that's
had-
where those movies kind
Yeah,
of.
and who can forget Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers?
Well,
Right.
I never saw that. That's Paul Rudd's in that one.
Okay.
But Halloween
That's the good
Resurrection even is kind of like when it started to feel like the Scream films because
Right,
Kevin Williamson was
Yeah.
involved in that and it had that kind of a vibe.
Well, let's not. Well, you're skipping over the real one that was that came out of the Scream Factory, which was a Halloween H2O.
That's what I was just talking
20
about.
years later.
Yeah,
That's the one I was just
what he was talking
That,
about.
Yeah.
that came before Resurrection.
Right, but
Yeah.
I
We
said
weren't up to Resurrection.
we weren't
yet.
up to Resurrection yet. So before I was
Falsely accused.
incompetently interrupted
Oh my God!
in my Halloween, I know my horror shit,
Hey, man, I'm just reading off the Wikipedia page.
and yeah, but You're not listening to what we're saying.
Would you stop interrupting me while I am interrupting you?
Thank you.
It's Wikipedia he's reading. That's the problem.
No. I think the problem is that we just tried to list them all.
The fact is, to go back to the reason why I feel it's intriguing is because of David Gordon Green and Danny McBride.
Yeah.
Because they're pals. They worked on Pineapple Express together.
I think for some people, one of the questions was because I think the inference they were taking from Danny McBride saying it takes place right after 2 was that it meant like, well, I think that people thought he meant it literally, and now that he's cast Jamie Lee Curtis, it's obviously not going to pick up like back then. Because Jamie Lee Curtis does not look like she looked. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's got to be
absolutely.
modern day or something like that, present day, as opposed to like, what the implication.
Right. And now it'll be brought to you by Activia.
Well, you should see the image that fucking they put out, the little teaser image, because it looks like almost like it's just it's Activia's Halloween promotion or something.
No, but
these like Photoshop City.
But these are competent writers and a director here. So
I got total faith in this. I can't wait to see
Rob Zombie?
And no more.
Nothing.
No, total,
none of that.
No. Skipping all that. Ignoring everything. And then Tim Miller is lined up to direct the next Terminator with a lot of heavy Cameron involvement. Cameron's, much like the last thing we were talking about, he's all involved in this too.
Confirmed and greenlit.
Now, I think the idea with this is another thing where we're kind of going to ignore. Now that Cameron's back, it's like, I guess we're going to ignore anything non-Cameron at this point. Like, it's Terminator 2. From there on,
we'll see. I mean, I would be fine if they just erased Genesis, the one before.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because I kind of like things about 3 and 4.
Listen, he got a payday in 3 and 4.
No, I think 3 had his stamp on it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
but
and they had to get Linda Hamilton's approval.
To
go ahead because she owned half of it because she was the wife and.
Yeah, but they pull out Cameron for all these movies. I remember he did a video right before Genesis that came out. I said, "Well, if I was making a Terminator movie now, this is the one I'd make." And he's like, "Really, Jim?"
Yeah,
until he watched it. Until he watched it.
That's funny. But I remember seeing that video where he was like, "I'm on Team Genesis, basically here, like letting you know from a couch in my house, like this is good stuff. Trust it, guys. It's got my stamp." And then it's like, well...
And then he's like, okay, take this to the bank.
Yeah, it's like... and that's what doesn't make any sense, because it's like, he doesn't need money. So it's not like you can say, well, they bought off his approval. And it's like, that's not it. I think he was just trying to hopefully keep the franchise in a good place.
Yeah.
Just because, like, it's only in his best interest to do that, like,
But I feel that film goers, especially fans of Terminator, are smarter than that because they know if Cameron really has his involvement in it, it'll turn out somewhat decent.
Yeah.
Well, plus the other thing, with all the talk that was coming out when T2 just got its re-release, I think if you look at T2, that is a proper ending for this franchise.
Yeah, it holds up. It doesn't hold up in time travel breakdown, but I mean, it holds up as an ending.
Yeah, but it's the kind of thing is like trying to keep T2 and have the franchise move forward.
Yeah.
It seems like that's a hard thing that none of the other sequels have been able to get around.
No.
Well, but the thing is, to be fair, off mic, we've had conversations about 3 and Salvation, that there's a lot of things that are good in those films.
Yeah.
There's some cons in there as well. I'm not going to say that there isn't, but I think it's because people would like to see another really good Terminator film.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah, Anton Yelchin, I think, is really great in Salvation.
So do I, absolutely. And I think that Tim Miller, see what he did with Deadpool. I think that he can put some sort of merit back into Terminator with Cameron.
Yeah, it's a good choice. It feels like a good fit. You know what I mean? And I'm excited for it.
Good.
As I think we all probably are, because
it would be nice to see this movie still retain a gritty kind of low budget feel.
You're right. Bring the franchise back.
Right, to help bring the franchise back. Tim Miller has had success in low budget films. We know.
Yeah.
Deadpool is almost $1 billion movie.
Shit, if it's not past that.
So.
All right, so with that, I think we're lining up for the next little area. We call it Meanwhile. Meanwhile. This is where we kind of talk about stuff we saw.
Yeah.
This part. I don't know about you, Jay, but I know the three of us all saw the Orville last Sunday, first episode. That's Seth MacFarlane's Star Trek-y show.
I didn't get to watch it. No, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It wasn't a homework assignment, so you're all right. You're all right.
I would have done it if I knew.
We were doing a thing. Well, it almost turned into that. I just know that Ed saw it too. And me and Bob sat in the same room and watched it at the same time.
Yes, I did.
On different screens.
You guys go first.
Well, look, what I liked about it a lot, to be honest with you, that it didn't feel like it was you could have swapped out Seth MacFarlane. Like, it didn't feel like this is a Seth MacFarlane fucking hard comedy romp like you probably thought you were coming into. It's there. It's got those moments. It's got those kinds of jokes here and there, but it wasn't like trying to be like nonstop funny like you might have thought it was going to be.
But it did have more humor than you would think would be in a sci-fi show.
Absolutely, because it's combining both of those.
Right.
And in this particular one, and maybe because it's the pilot, it feels like it wasn't leaning as much towards comedy as it was kind of just more like a little bit more drama, setting everything up, and all that.
Right. Well, it has to. This is an episode that has to cover all the bases. It's got to be good. It's got to introduce us to everybody. It's got to hit all its marks as to the type of show it's going to be. But it's got to do all this, and it's a brand new thing. So there's no familiarity for us. So it's got to do this by working within staples to a certain extent, and working with staples of the genre.
Sure.
And just writing a TV show in general.
How about you, Ed?
I loved it. I loved every bit of it. I thought it was incredible.
We knew that. When we were watching, we were like, this is going to fit right in Ed's pocket.
Yeah. You know what it was? It was Star Trek. I mean, I know it wasn't Star Trek.
But it was Star Trek.
But it was Star Trek.
Yeah, it was Star Trek with jokes, basically.
Yeah, it was Star Trek with dick jokes.
And just a personality. How about just a little bit of a personality? Not to say that, I'm not trying to shit on Star Trek, that it's cold or anything like that. I'm just saying that, like, it's like if you have, like, even on Star Trek, when they have, like, a guy who's, like, kind of kooky or goofy, it's like, oh, this is going to be a fun episode. And this is, like, in that. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, but, like, all the tech talk, all you know what I miss? Like, a military structure that actually makes sense.
Right, okay.
Where, like, we acknowledge the commander, and, like, this guy has been working his ass off to gain a captaincy, not like, oh, I beat up the first officer and I disobeyed orders, so now they're just going to give me my own ship.
Right, because that's what happens. You know what I mean?
Not that movie's bad.
No, but,
But, like, this, I like that classic kind of old Starfleet feel to it. And I didn't realize until the credits, really, that Brandon Braga is an executive producer on this, who was a big Next Gen writer and who worked on
DS9.
On Voyager and Enterprise. And you definitely see his hand in this, and I'm really excited for this going forward.
Nice.
Yeah, it definitely has some money in it. This
at the very least, the pilot for sure.
Yeah.
Big investment, a lot of cool sets.
And you know what? Seth MacFarlane has come through for Fox for a while now.
Yeah,
they make quite a bit.
Yeah.
This is a good return, and if it does well, it's gonna. I think it's gonna do real well, and I think it's gonna probably take some thunder away from that other Star Trek kind of looking thing that's coming on CBS.
But I thought the space battles, that whole hug the donkey thing, I thought that was incredible.
The whole hugging the donkey thing.
Didn't even see it. Hug the donkey.
Hug the donkey. What kind of show is this?
Are there any like intentional like Star Trek pokes?
Oh yeah.
To like the movies or anything.
The more you
like,
know, the more you'll see. It's like that. It really
like
is.
Not blatant, but.
Right.
No.
Well, because it's even as subtle as like the character lineup. It's like, oh, okay, these are all mismatches and cross pollinations of other characters
It's like
that have been in throughout Star Trek.
Right. Any like key things from different characters throughout this Star Trek history.
Right.
Key elements of their characters you see in these characters, but they're different people, obviously. So like you have the B'Elanna Torres engineer girl. Right, but she's got super strength.
So she's got like Klingon strength, like man strength.
You know what I mean? But she's like, it's like Superman kind of strength.
Very cool.
Very cool. That's a security chief, and you think like this is a 12-year-old, and then she just takes out a safe door.
Right. Right.
Kicks a whole wall
She's
down.
about like 4.5 feet tall.
The big unsuspecting thing.
Yeah.
And then there's random things in there too, like a gelatinous blob in the hallway.
Voiced by Norm Macdonald.
Yep. There you go.
Not to see Norm working.
Yeah, no, I'm all right. Don't worry about it. Keep going.
Yeah. Jay's lost. He's like, what? Norm Macdonald.
I'll watch it.
He's like, I'll check it out. So yeah, so we all really enjoyed that. Giving it
Special
definitely
effects were good.
Yeah, definitely a cash on that. Check it out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Possibly a stash. So you got to see how the rest of the season goes.
That was the one thing too. It was like it's going to be interesting to see like how much of that balance of comedy versus kind of like sci-fi action drama, like because shows find themselves in the process. So it'll be interesting to see like where this kind of goes over the course of the season.
Ultimately, this episode, the story in this episode is
fairly self-contained.
It's fairly self-contained, but it's basically a rote story. It's a familiar one. It's a man and his ex-wife who are having to work together, who don't want to.
Right.
And this is their work environment.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's how we get to know everybody. That's the essence of this episode.
Right.
Yeah, and also one of the things that I did like that they did take a little bit of a jab at is like Starfleet. You always talked about how huge it was, how they had thousands and thousands of ships, and then they're like, well, we have 30,000 ships, and we need a captain. So, like, we don't really want you, but there's no one else.
We have too many ships,
like,
basically.
At a certain point, you're just running out of human beings to fill slots.
Right, we're taking anybody at this point. All right, so very good. We're all excited about that, and we're looking forward to more of it. Now, you two have a couple of movies in common I think you saw this weekend. So, do you want to start with Mother?
That might need a little bit more
let's
time.
Well, either way, the time has to be accumulated somewhere.
All right, so
it doesn't really matter.
I saw American Assassin.
Okay.
Which this is based on the Vince Flynn novel.
Okay.
It's about a guy whose wife gets killed by terrorists, so the guy decides to train to be an MMA fighter.
Oh, okay.
And then goes out and tries to kill terrorists and ends up becoming hired by the CIA and becomes this assassin.
Right.
There goes my guess.
Yeah. It's got Dylan O'Brien, Michael Keaton.
Okay.
Keaton's really good in this. He's solid performance. O'Brien is interesting. Interesting physical type. Taylor Kitsch also plays this, the guy who O'Brien replaces. He's like this rogue agent who just decide. And there's a nuclear weapons involved, and we've got Russia and Iran in this somehow. Basic spy political intrigue, and it's serviceable.
Okay.
There's, there are some points where it's just like, okay, this guy's just not following any orders, not doing anything he's told. At a certain point, like if this was any other job, you'd be fired.
Right.
You'd be fired. You'd be fired 2 minutes in. But it's a fun story. Some good action beats. If you. I don't know if it's quite worthy of a sequel, but I think it's definitely worth seeing.
Okay.
So yeah, I think I'd cash this.
Cash.
It's a light cash, but I cash.
It's a low cash.
Low cash.
Low cash. Low funded.
Now, Jay, you saw this a long time before me.
Yeah, I can talk about it now.
Secrets revealed on the Wicked Theory podcast. Folks.
Contractually obligated.
An NDA.
A non-disclosure agreement, correct? That I couldn't talk about it, but I saw it back in July, actually.
At a screening.
At a screening. And I'm pretty sure I saw close to a final cut, except I saw two endings.
Right.
So what I got out of it, I'm not going to rehash the plot or anything, but I agree with Ed wholeheartedly. What I liked about it is that it was very gritty. You know what I mean? It's got one hell of a cool ending. I don't want to get too far into it, but there's a really good explosion.
Yes.
Awesome explosion that's worthy to go to the theater and see that on its own on the big screen.
Somebody's ass.
Heath Ledger as Joker worthy?
Well, no, that's a different. Yeah, that's different.
Bob's always got to blow it out of the fucking water.
But the thing is that I saw a different ending. And I saw the different ending edited into the film.
Now, you two spoke, without giving endings away, but you two did speak about those differences and stuff like that. So the official ending that's tagged onto the movie now
was the alternate ending in the screening,
which is the ending that you preferred.
No, so I don't prefer the ending that
of the two.
I just heard that they used.
Gotcha. But I will say, based on what Jay told me, the other ending that he preferred is I actually liked what they went with. So
right,
all right, fair enough. Fair enough. Interesting development.
Right. It's a little. I mean, Ed did understand my point of view on it.
Oh,
you know
yeah,
what I mean,
definitely.
of what was going on, but
it's the kind of thing where, like, for a character, your way makes sense, but from a story perspective, I think this was the best.
I think it was a little bit more not to repeat other films.
Yeah.
kind of a thing.
Right.
But it's definitely a good movie,
Okay.
and it's a good action film, and I cash it as well.
Cash, double cash, 2 for cash.
So now the big one.
Well,
Talk about the DVD that you watched.
you got it in here in the notes.
Oh yeah, I actually tagged Scream Factory, who's the cousin company of Shout Factory. They release Blu-rays.
That's like a thing.
It's a Shout Factory and Scream Factory are the same company.
I didn't know that. It makes sense.
They release Blu-rays and stuff like that.
These special editions.
Right, special editions, and I tagged them for the promo for this show, so maybe they hope that they listen to it. But they did an incredible job releasing this 2-disc collector's edition of The Lawnmower Man. Which was a film I actually liked. You know what I mean? A lot of people didn't at the time.
Does he eat the grass? Does he eat the grass?
But if anybody doesn't know what The Lawnmower Man is, it is the first film to deal with virtual reality. In a way. It was also a bastardization of a Stephen King short story.
Oh my God, was it? Yeah.
But watching the documentary on this movie, you actually feel for these guys what this guy wanted to do with it. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
Because there was a consultant. I want to say he's a historian, but he was some kind of consultant for pop culture these days, who actually was comparing it like, look, I read the Stephen King novel, and it's totally nothing. There's like one scene.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now, through the years, I had heard different stories. Back then, we didn't have the internet, so I just knew that Stephen King looked at it and goes, this is not my movie, and has his name taken off of it. So, there's a director's cut of this movie that runs 2 hours and 20 minutes. Okay. And I feel like, because there's a lot of backstory that's involved with, remember the monkey with that was enhanced? There's this whole huge scene where he actually finds Job's character.
I got you.
And
fills it out, helps it make more sense as a thing of its own. It's not like it ties to the book anymore, but it just helps to flesh out this structure that they had.
Correct, right. And Pierce. This was an early effort from Pierce Brosnan, coming off of Remington Steele. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the thing is, he's really good in it, too.
Let's not knock Jeff Fahey.
I take it you guys aren't fans of this movie.
I haven't seen it since back in the day.
All right.
But it was one of those things where, like, at the time, I think I kind of got a kick out of it, though. Like, even though it's, like, this campy kind of attempt at a thing, which was, like anything that's kind of, like, goofy about it or whatever, you can kind of feel is unintentional, though.
Right.
Which is, like, I feel like a thing to be appreciated as well, though.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Unfortunately, it's known and famous for being a bastardization of a Stephen King short story.
Yeah.
Whereas I look at it and I see a really cool science fiction flick that doesn't look like anything else.
No, that's true. Yeah. That's true. They really kind of made something that's their own. You know what I mean?
So
I mean, it's when you say bastardization, that's actually being polite. When you realize that the original story is about a guy who's a landscaper who eats the grass.
He's mental. Yeah.
And he's known for having the tightest cut lawns in town, and he eats the grass. He doesn't actually mow the lawn.
Right.
And that's like kind of like it. You know what I mean? It's a Stephen King short story.
Yeah, it's literally about a 20 or 30 story. It's a 20 or 30 page story.
Yeah,
right.
It's one of his short Cavalier magazine things back in the days, and none of that virtual reality stuff is in it. Like you know what I mean? So it's definitely somebody was just like, I think that short story should be like just the starting point, and we've got, hey, how about this crazy thing?
Right.
But as a thing of its own,
yes,
it's got value. It's got some merit. Like, I think what happens is that, like, people just shit on it, and it's known for that. And then when you see it, it's like, well, now I get why it's a shit on. Like, it almost doesn't get a fair shake.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I will say this. I've never seen a frame of Lawnmower Man.
Okay.
Yeah,
but
that's good.
I do remember being 8 years old and watching the Sci-Fi Channel, and every third commercial
was for that?
Was for Lawnmower Man 2 Beyond Cyber.
Oh, that's bad.
I remember being really freaked out and thinking this looks really scary, and then never going anywhere near either movie. And I remember, like, the movie came out and you never heard about it again.
No,
I was like, what was that?
Listen,
I thought
that's what it was. Crap.
Listen,
I'm watching Quantum Leap and Sequest reruns, going like, this must be like the thing that everyone's talking about.
But no one was talking about it.
Look, man, I mean, I can sell The Lawnmower Man to get people to watch it and actually see something good. I cannot sell Lawnmower 2. And I would get it if somebody tried to smack me in the fucking head if I did try to fucking pass off Lawnmower 2 as a good movie. But Lawnmower Man, I think, still holds its own. A couple things I didn't know, but Scream Factory, again, if you're listening, you never cease to amaze me with the abundance of extras they put on this release.
Yeah.
Keep doing the great work. And another thing I didn't know was there's a good documentary on it. Cameron was a fan of it, and he actually took the cinematographer from that movie, and he went on to win an Oscar for Titanic.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And as I'm looking at this movie, I can see like his stamp on like True Lies and Titanic, the same kind of lighting and you know technical kind of cinematography it has. So
interesting.
Yeah. So cash.
All right.
All right. So
I stashed it.
So there's one more thing left here, and that's this Aaron Fronsky or Aaron Darevsky's.
Darren Aronofsky.
Aronofsky.
Dostoevsky's.
Don Cornelius's
skis
mother.
He will rip a hole through that wall, walk in, and kill you.
Who, Don Cornelius?
No, Aronofsky.
Oh yeah, he might.
Don Cornelius.
Do it. I've seen it happen, man.
I've seen videos, man. The guy is nuts.
What are we talking about?
Darren Aronofsky.
Because it's tight.
Thank you. So, guys, this movie seems to be one of those movies where it's like, oh, it's the talk of the town. Like, you love it or you hate it. It's like The Thing. It's got maybe a twist or a shift into it, too. So I don't know how you guys want to handle that. But since you two saw it, it's give me your thoughts and the feelings and opinions and stuff.
I'm going to say what I told you guys when I first walked in here.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to let Jay try to parse that through.
Okay, fair enough.
So the first half of this movie is about a broad who wants to get laid.
Sure. Okay.
And the second half of that movie is about a broad who just wants to be left alone.
Okay. All right.
I concur, actually.
You're like, well, that's one way to put it. That's fair.
I'm going to throw a spoiler alert out here because there's no way I can really like dissect this movie unless I throw out a spoiler alert. So
okay, well at least you're doing it beforehand, which is not the way lately for people.
I mean, if you're paying attention, they tell you everything that's going to happen right up front within the first 10 seconds of the movie.
I got you.
Do you not want me to? Because I can.
No. I mean, I generally don't care. For me, you know what I mean. But it's a thing where it's like, you know, you can't run too long on talking about the thing then.
No, I'll try to be quick.
You know what I mean? Because it's like then people don't know how far to jump ahead if they want to jump ahead.
All right.
You know what I mean? So,
well,
but I know that whole thing is the issue. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I mean, the thing is, I kind of figured it out.
Come back in like 2 minutes. Jump ahead like 2 minutes, if you want to. If you want to.
Right. I kind of got the similarities of a different story with this, and I got it the moment. The Ed Harris and Michelle Pfeiffer kids characters.
Yeah. Donald Gleason and that other guy.
Yeah, the two Gleasons, actually. They're the brothers.
Oh, it's his brother.
They're the two brothers when, you know, not to give anything away, but one kills the other. You know what I mean? And then I'm looking back into the strangers coming in, and I realized that I was watching Darren Aronofsky kind of making this movie an allegory of the Bible.
Okay.
And then right after that happens, there's a lot of things that happen after this movie. It just goes on this fucked up, twisted, dark ride.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And the thing is you keep thinking to yourself, like, all right, this isn't real somehow. Something like I'm trying to figure out, like,
what is this dream? Is this something else?
I get it because I don't completely understand it all the way through. I think I got a good 95% of it.
Okay.
But I feel like the allegories get
more obvious.
Not more obvious, actually more non-obvious. But you got to do some thinking.
I got you. Okay.
You know what I mean? Because and I'm only saying this as religion being the huge thing here. God and Mother Nature.
All right.
Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel.
Yeah.
That whole thing. The apple being the crystal.
Yeah. All right.
Just the characters' names here are
You're running out of time.
Okay. Mother, him, man, woman, younger brother, oldest son.
So no one's name is ever like really used in the movie. People just kind of like talk to each other, like kind of like how real people. Sometimes you can go a whole day without saying someone's name.
Yeah,
I got you.
But I mean, as it goes on and on and on, you know, I'm looking at what religion means to certain people. There's obvious throws to someone writing the New Testament. You know what I mean? There's new poetry, as far as this. Also in the credits, if everything's done in lowercase with the exception of Javier Bardem's character. Yeah. And it's him with a capital H, which to me said I'm on the right track here.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I was on the right track. And then I went back and I looked at what certain people thought.
And it seems to be
similar. It's a huge debacle.
Okay, well, maybe he created a movie here that he wants to be debated and discussed.
On that note, I'm a fan of Aronofsky.
Okay.
I enjoyed what I saw, man, and I like fucked up things.
All right, we're in a zone here where we can just avoid the spoiler stuff.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep going.
All right, I'm sorry.
No. You're perfect right now because now you're past that.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? I'm just saying.
We're out of spoiler zone.
If anybody's coming back in, is what I'm saying.
I would like to see it again.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because I think it's worth a lot of viewings, but there's not a bad performance in this film.
Yeah.
It is edited incredibly. You know what I mean? Yeah. This is not gonna turn a lot of people on. I'm telling you now, it's a different movie. You have to use your noggin. Yeah. But I like what I saw.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I don't think it's a great piece, but I think it's unlike anything that's out there right now. And I think he's telling one hell of an existential story. So cash.
I would say it's funny. There's a lot to talk about in this movie. There's a whole run about existentialism, which I don't know if anyone's read Sartre.
Whoa, no math on this show.
All right, fine. No, but basically,
I understand.
Hell is other people, and this woman, and there's this point where you feel like this woman is trapped in this house.
Okay,
and
that's kind of what you kind of get from the commercial in a vague sense, like these people come and then shit happens.
Yeah, the whole thing is told from her perspective. The camera is always within like half, a foot of her.
That's interesting.
So, it's constantly moving around from her perspective.
Right,
and everything.
Right.
You could find things about the role of women in society in this movie. There's a whole thing about the right to privacy, and I think about the lifestyles that millennials have chosen and whether or not that's dangerous precedent to set for future generations.
Part of the allegories I was referring to in the second half of this story.
Yeah, there's not even just the religious aspect. I think just in terms of technology and
society and modern society kind of things.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in here. I'm actually. It's not for everybody. Like
I just said,
you need to go in here being ready to handle this. But but people who do like this are really gonna like this. And
I did, yeah.
Yeah, I'm stashing this.
All right. So to quote Stephen King, for the sort of people who like this sort of thing, this is the sort of thing they like.
Right. Like I want one more viewing of it, but I think I'm kind of close to stashing it
seems like
myself.
From what I understand and what I'm gathering, it does feel like it's intentional almost for a second watch. Yeah. Like he kind of knows that I'm doing a thing here that is supposed to kind of sink in late. If it sinks in quite right at all, second watch is probably pretty much encouraged.
But I'm going to be explaining this to my family members for like the next 10 years.
And you're going to start with, well, I'm not sure either, but ...
It's also something I know that I'm not going to forget anytime soon.
Okay, that's I think that's important, an important thing, because I feel like whether or not you actually like a movie or not, like if it sits in you and it sits with you, even if it's something like The Dark Backward or something like, or like but at least that isn't a feeling, it's an emotion, So with that, with Dunsky's, with the Meanwhile, what I mean? All right?
I'm going to pull an Ed. Remember, I reserved the right to watch this again and change my critique. So now I'm just saying heavy cash to a possible stash, but I think I'm probably going to wind up stashing it. I just need to watch it one more time.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Ooh, I'm ready to dive into this. You ready for this?
For what?
This chat game.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, the hashtag was
I knew he was gonna say some kind of apology type thing for that.
So the hashtag was movie.
I don't make them often, so take them while you can get them.
I don't want it because it's unnecessary.
So the hashtag was movie Parmigiana.
Movie Parmigiana.
Example. All right. So you ready? You ready?
You were about to read the example.
Yeah. All right. So the Gabagool father.
Nice.
Cape fear of sitting on the plastic-covered furniture. The seventh breadstick. Dead prosciutto. Star Trek Beyond the Salad Bar. Italian Grandma's Boy.
That's funny.
Angel Hair Avatar. What do you mean she's having a baby? How could you do that to your mother?
Oh, that's good.
Sub versus Hoagie. Dawn of Meatball Justice.
Wow, I gotta process that one. Yeah, that's good though.
IT Alien. Don't know what that means. Alien.
Italian. It's alien.
Yeah. 16 cannolis. My Big Fat Italian Wedding Soup. Me, Myself, and Ossobuco. Fried Green Calamar. Animal House Marsala. Prosciutto vs. Preacher. The Circle Linguini. Ghost in the Manigot. How to Train Your Bolognese. Titanic Pizza.
This Bolognese needs a little extra training, not for nothing.
Silence of the Lombardi.
Oh.
Gelatos of New York. Ice Spumoni on your grave.
Spumoni.
Ice Spumoni on your grave. Olive Garden State. 12 Years of Sausage.
That's a porno film.
Jesus Christ.
The Hunger Games. Cacciatore on Fire. Heartburn 3. Hell on Earth. I guess that's like a food joke. Zero Dark Tomato. 127 pizzas. Fantastic 4-cheese pizza. Mission Impossible Ghost Pancetta. Cloudy with a Chance of Alfredo. And Spaghetti Night Fever.
Ah,
they're all good.
Kids, I'm ringing it for all of you. Those were great shit. That was good stuff. The old movies Parmigiana. Oh,
couple $2-3.
A couple $2-3 ones in there, I think, maybe. Just a little bit. I could be wrong. But oh man, we're moving right along, kids. We're moving right along. We're making good time.
Moving right along.
I don't know. The signals that you were giving me didn't make me feel like this was moving right along.
I don't know.
Right up until that moment, it was going smooth.
Yeah.
It was going smooth.
It was going smooth.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Until that moment there.
Giving you gold.
Until Newark Talk.
Giving you fucking gold.
I just don't want them to get long in the tooth. You know what I mean? I don't need that.
Sometimes you learn a little bit with the mouth.
Sometimes you gotta learn to just listen there, Billy boy. Just listen.
What are you gonna do? Listen, Mondesante.
Mondesante. I don't know why that made me laugh. All right, so we'll do some.
I miss a Mondesante.
We'll do some emails.
Yeah. You guys in the ass, I fucked them. Fucking break up my party. Emails.
You finished?
No, I got one more, Ridby.
Okay. It's somewhere.
I got one more.
No, you don't know where or when, but
get it out.
It's in there.
Tell me what Wesley said.
All right. Not yet. We're going to start with the old James. James Hazelden Jr.
Jimmy
says, hey, good evening, everybody. I'm probably listening through headphones while working, but not in the chat room actively talking. But have you heard? That's right. John Wick 3 has been announced.
Yes, I did hear that.
Mm-hmm.
Chapter 3.
Chapter 3. He says,
please tell me, same director?
He says, we have to wait 2 years, but I think there will be plenty of movies to hold us over. Which reminds me, I need to look into when Thor comes out, which is, I think, November.
Yes,
right?
it is. November.
I haven't seen any movies since Ryan around before Wonder Woman, so I'm a little out of touch. I didn't realize y'all were on iHeartRadio or TuneIn, which we are. It's the time of year I normally download TuneIn anyway for Saturday listings. Go Dogs. I don't know what that. Maybe that's some local team. I don't know. So I'll have to look you up on those services. While the listeners can't see, I've attached the Google Earth pic of where I'm staying so you can see what I mean by a large yard. And by the way, yeah, this guy's got some mowing to do. And if he finished, and if he just finished, it's time to start again.
I bet he's got some mowing to do. Oh, you see what I did there?
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is, but I saw it.
That's right.
All right.
Lawnmower.
I don't get it.
I don't know either. I lost. Once again, my short-term... we survived Harvey being up near Shreveport. All we got was about 4 inches of rain and a little wind. Once again, my short-term memories failed me. There was something I was going to ask after listening today to the podcast yesterday, but I can't remember it now. So that was unnecessary. You got a question anyway, Ed. I want to say that I'm shocked to think that Ed would be all like, screw the hurricane victims, give me your donations. I'm not surprised that he thinks that, but I'm shocked he actually said it. Lol, laugh out loud. Next
really,
time,
I mean, our parents are actually hurricane victims.
I kid.
Next time y'all get a good storm like Sandy, I'll remember that. All right, so Ed, he's laughing at that.
It's all a good fun.
It was all good fun, and
it's all.
I hope it didn't sound too straight-faced because you did say it straight. Like, you know, you'd have to be in the room to see the look on your face. But
What? Wait, hey, guy. You actually believed something I said?
Hey, you guys are silly.
What?
Yeah, don't do that.
Just what I said. What is this, a court of law?
I mean, come on.
Let's just put it
the
this
things
way.
you say, people think you actually believe?
Yeah, it's crazy. On a podcast of all places. All
If
right.
I would have said it, you would have gotten hate mail.
Okay, this email is...
I mean, you know, if I actually believed the things I said, my brother's dog would have been dead a long time ago.
Oh, come on, man.
Sorry.
I'm letting that just float. I'm just letting that float. Okay, this
Just
email...
for the record, his dog died yesterday.
That's
Okay, this email is just going to be more mindless rambling if I keep going, and then that would just force Bill to speed read what he wanted to skip over to keep the show from bogging down. Just remember, Bill, you begged for emails. That's true. Now let's hurry up and get to the post show. The after party is normally better than the actual party anyway, and that's kind of true. So with
A
that,
little looser.
So with that, James, thanks for the email and the pics to put your emails into context. Next one is from a friend who's got his own little jingle, 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 if I can fucking find it. It's not like I moved it.
Wesley.
You got me, you son of a bitch. I was so focused on trying to hit the mark. You jerk off. Hey, you gentlemen. So no questions this week, but a short story.
Oh, okay.
This morning I woke up from a nightmare where I was hanging with friends on a Saturday and realized it was after 11 and I had missed the Wicked Theory show live on Mixler that started at 7. I promptly woke up and hoped that it never happens. No joke, this really happened. So if I don't see you, then good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Well, I'm happy. I'm glad to know that we've finally invaded your dreams.
Cash!
I want you to just to hear that now in the middle of the night, just like as you finally kind of got your head on the pillow and like you're just about to go out.
I mean, I don't think that's fair. I think we should ask for residuals.
Oh yeah, you think we can get
There you
some?
go.
Well, we gotta.
Dream residuals.
You know, I don't know. There's something there. I don't know. We're already getting money out of this
You
kid.
know, someone's being entertained by us, and we're not making any dough off of it.
You know, I think it's.
I kid,
because you know.
It's a YouTube thing. It's the new YouTube thing.
Yeah,
They're in
well-
your dreams.
In your dreams, AdSense. We got the
Google Dream.
hashtag Google Dream Brain infection. I don't know what that means. All right, so well, thanks there, buddy. Appreciate you writing in as usual. Thanks to James Hazelden. It's all the emails we got this week. Just a couple to hang out with us and do whatever it is that we do.
I know whenever I'm not on the show, I'm always crying a little bit.
Why?
Because I'm not on the show.
I'm not on the show.
Because you're recording without me.
Emails, boy!
That's all I had. That's all I had.
We're done. All right.
Rook is here.
Oh, Christ.
It's Rooker Pop.
And you know what? That's how you would feel if Rooker did show up. Like, after a couple of days with him, and then, like, it's like, fuck, Rooker's here. Fucking Jesus Christ. Fucking.
What's wrong with Rooker, boy?
What's the matter? You don't like me no more?
Rooker was on the Gotham Lights Podcast.
I wash my dishes, what?
Gotham Lights,
He's
boy.
not wearing that fin again, is he?
He doesn't even have the blue makeup on. He just has the fin.
Hey,
I got a duck everywhere I go.
People like not Michael Rooker. You know that, right?
Oh, no, absolutely I do. Trust me, I know that. Yeah, I guess that's it.
Cool.
You made me rush, and we got 11 minutes to spare.
I made you rush through the memorial stuff. You know, the thing with rushing through the spoiler was just because we had said 2 minutes,
Well, I said,
and we were at 2 minutes when you got to your point.
I didn't even see that one.
I forgot to say,
So that's the that's not even what you were talking
There was a
about?
couple. There was a couple of them.
I went to a Fathom event this week.
A Fathom
one
event this
quick
week.
Thing, I got
Turned
to
into
see
Bill Cosby right there.
Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan
Oh man, I forgot all about
on the big screen,
Oh shit!
and it was great. I mean, there was an interview with William Shatner beforehand where you think the guy might be going a little.
Yeah,
It
you
was-
were
I was, you know,
losing it. A
It was
little
more.
bit?
Actually, I had more problems with the guy who was interviewing him, who
Right.
like went all fanboy and tried correcting him. Like, you don't correct that guy, even though we know everything he says is wrong.
We know,
But you don't correct him.
Right. You just let that go.
Let it go.
It's like that clip I played you of Quentin Tarantino talking about Star Trek, and it's like, we're just letting Quentin be wrong a little bit.
Really.
He's mostly right.
Really.
So
I mean,
No, the best part.
He's
Is,
going to be coming out in the chair like Pike.
yeah.
eventually.
Kirk, yeah.
No, but
Shatner.
the best part of that Tarantino clip is Tarantino corrects himself, and then Matt Meyer, the Uber Next Gen fan, goes, "Oh, I'm back. I'm good."
That is a highlight moment. But
But it was great because I'd never seen Star Trek II on the big screen, and it was so different.
Yeah.
You know, to see, and I think those practical effects with the models in space
right.
hold up a lot better than the CG stuff that you see today. You know, the stuff with the Nebula, of course, they could have done more with that, but just the work of those ships moving around in space feels a lot more tactile and real to me.
They definitely hold up better than a lot of the earlier special effects do.
Yeah.
Because looking back on those, they still look fairly real.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and the theatricality of Montalban and Shatner going head to head really plays well.
Yeah.
And you know what? That scene I'd seen 100 times, had the same reaction. I was 7 years old. I was.
You mean the one where Spock goes, "Khan"?
Well, Kirk says that, I think.
Yeah, right. But in the reboot.
Oh, that shit.
Yeah. Yeah. But sorry, forgot to mention that earlier. In the
Star
No,
Trek
that's
Into
good,
Darkness
that's
is
fine.
like a letdown for me. I mean, that's something like somebody. I'm eating.
It's a nice action ride, but it's not really a good Star Trek movie.
It's like you're eating a fucking ice cream cone and then somebody took it away from you midway. You know what I mean? That's going to be my review on a fucking DVD box.
Oh boy.
Uncle Jay says.
Uncle Jay says.
Kirk ends up being
Star Trek
the,
Into
the comic
Darkness.
foil, like in the first one.
Yeah. Oh, wait, hang on, real quick. Wesley's asking about Movie Pass. I signed up for a week ago, and I still haven't gotten my card in the mail yet.
Okay.
So,
All right. Well, that's
just,
it's coming, buddy.
Did you read an article on
just be aware that, and I've gotten emails saying it may be 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
So just be aware of that when you're signing up.
That was
But-
2 to 3 weeks ago, right?
Yeah, and they say, oh, you could do all the e-ticketing, and there are no theaters in the New York tri-state area that have the e-ticketing through Movie Pass.
That's like in the Money
So-
Pit where they're asking how long the house is going to take.
Yeah.
And everything is 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 2 weeks. It'll be done in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
That's
2
because
weeks.
with this kind of a deal, you're going to get the theaters and the chains that are having the most difficulty filling seats. You know what I mean? Before you get the ones that are pretty fairly comfortable with how they're doing.
Yeah, and those theaters usually make more money off concessions than they do off ticket sales anyway.
Right.
No, I think it's just going
It's
to be.
it's a good idea. I think you just got to let it get started.
Yeah, it's going to be rocky at first,
Yeah.
but then it's going to be like the best thing ever, probably. I predict that. And I predict real shit.
Real deal predictions.
Now,
That's right.
If the decline that the movie industry is saying is happening is true, then we'll start seeing more and more theaters taking part.
Yeah, they'll get more desperate to just latch onto anything to bring people in.
Yeah.
That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for local theaters to start breaking their fucking
Well, we're gonna have
their
the-
stodgy ways and start getting real fucking creative.
Breaking your balls.
Well, here in Staten Island, we're going to have 3 new theaters within the next 18 months pop up.
Which means one of them,
good.
somebody's not going to survive. You
Yeah.
just saturate a small
Yeah,
market.
they're all going to be dinner theaters, so they're all going to be like a little bit overpriced, and the food's going to be mediocre.
Right.
So
Yeah.
one of them is not going to last. At
Yeah,
least.
somebody's going to be the low dog. You know, someone's going to be the runt of the litter or something like
Yeah,
that.
Someone's going to be Chrysler.
Yeah. There's an analogy, folks. All right, let's take it out of here, folks.
Yep.
If you're listening live, hang out, listen to the DC TV report. Ed's got something special to say to those who are listening, have been listening.
Or if they can actually go to the Patreon and pay, and then they'll be able to listen to this through the Patreon, right?
No, but that's close. They'll be able to listen to the after show at the Patreon.
That's what I meant.
Okay.
After show.
That's why I thought you meant that.
I forgot to mention the after show, but that's what I was talking about.
So if you are listening to this live, you can check out, stick around, listen to the DCTV Report, and then listen to the after show live. If you missed the after show, you can listen to it on Patreon. You can find us at wickedtheory.com, and you can find all of us on Twitter. Jay, where can people find you on the Twitters?
Yeah.
You want me to come back? I'll be dying yet.
Uncle Jay.
Uncle Jay at Jason Chickalise on the Twitters. Check out my videos and stuff. And,
find his
Jay
YouTube channel.
Ruptured a lung.
And my YouTube channel and all that other good nonsense.
How about you, Ed?
I am at Edward O'Hare TBD.
That's right.
And at DCTV Report.
That's right. How about that, folks? New stuff. And then Brother Bob?
At Bob WTPC.
There you go, folks. And I'm at wickedtheory.com, at Wicked Theory on the Twitter. ShowWickedTheory.com, Google, Stitcher, iTunes. Subscribe, rate, review, because that's what we like you to do. And then also,
fucking A.
Think of us always. We think of you often.
Fucking
We
B, C, and
appreciate the
D.
support. Stick around if you're listening live. Got a whole after show coming to you.
And A, too.
Bob's going to take us out of here. One day, man. One day he's going to fucking do it. He's going to blow your fucking mind. And he's going to have to probably wait for months, too, like I learned fucking Freebird, man. Any day now, these guys are going to...
Then I'll start requesting Stairway.
Attention listeners, Agent Palmer presents the Week of Coffee. Oh, did you say coffee? Yes, I did. From September 24 through September 30, 7 posts in 7 days about all things coffee. Oh boy, that's a lot of coffee. Is there gonna be cake or donuts? No, it's just a whole week devoted to the Java. Not even croissants? No, but you like history, traditions, myths, and more, don't you? Hey, you're putting me to sleep, buddy. Well, grab a cup of Joe and go to agentpalmer.com/coffee to see what's brewing. Well, I don't think Joe's gonna like that very much, Mr. Announcer Man.
The Wicked Theory Podcast is heard live every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern until whenever. Just go to mixler.com/wicked-theory. Mixler is MIXLR. Sign up to join the chat. Then click the follow button to get reminders whenever the show goes live. You can find the show on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, wherever good podcasts are given away for free, and at wickedtheory.com. You can support the show at patreon.com/wickedtheory. There you can get the after show if you miss it live. God forbid. Plus other exclusive episodes. As always, send your emails to podcast@wickedtheory.com.